Yo, what's up, guys? So now we're back to industry shit. Um, so this one's called, I'll call it industry arts in parentheses service bullshit. How about that? Something like that. Anyway, so this is inspired by a tweet Danny Manis did. And so I'll just read the tweet first of all. He says, long post, yes, there is a seismic, and some people hit me about this, by the way. Not Danny's comment, but the industry arts thing. Long post, yes, there's a seismic shakeup happening right now in the screenwriting resources slash service industry. Industry arts, the umbrella company, which owns about 70% of the space, is either shutting down or rolling everything into cast and crew, or are consolidating all the brands they bought into one. In parentheses, I don't know which yet, end of parentheses. And that means shutting down many of the name brands slash contests slash programs that you have been paying for and working with. For those that didn't know, hyphen, he's naming the companies now, Final Draft, Screencraft, Coverfly, We Screenplay, Launchpad, Tracking Board, TSL, Cast and Crew, and others are all owned by one parent company. But most have been operating somewhat separately. Now they're not. I haven't heard what the plan is yet, but I'd be willing to bet the parent company will still give the winners of their contests their prizes. I hope. But you can't own a company with 12 brands that compete with each other, so this was inevitable. And end quotes, breaking in is harder than ever right now, and writers aren't as willing or able to pay to do it. Trust me, exclamation point. So this will be a shakeup and will affect us all, and we'll see what happens. I'll let you know if I find out anything more, etc. Okay, so yeah, I have some thoughts on that. First of all, my thought is, some people hit me in the back channel and text and so forth and said, what do you think? And because they know I go out services pretty fucking hard. And one of them said, you won, which I find funny, but, you know, on a serious note, I don't wish for anybody's livelihood to be crushed. And there's other ways, scrupulous ways to make money. But going through this, I'd never even heard of industry arts. And I had no idea that there was an umbrella company like this that owns 70% of that service space. That's fucking news to me, man. I did not know that. Another thing I would say here is, which I find fucking crazy. Another thing here, and I'm going to say some new shit in this. I will. But I would say when he names the companies, I'll tell you the companies that Sherry and I have heard of in this. I know it's the same for her. I already know that. Final Draft, yes. Screencraft, no. Coverfly, no. We Screenplay, no. Launchpad, yes. Tracking Board, yes. TSL, no. Cast and Crew, no. And I could go on with other sort of contests and so forth that Sherry had never heard of. Like, for example, if this is the first time you're seeing my video, let me just clarify. I was married to an agent who was at CA for, she was there for 19 years and then another several years with her, several other management firms. Let's say that. So a lot of experience and plenty of hits. Devil Wears Prada, Gone Girl, Wild, to name a few. I had never heard an agent in all those years, 25 years, ever mention a service other than the nickel, and only to say that I don't give a fuck about the nickel. I'm talking about big agents with big clients. For me, that's what I was used to for 25 years. Never hearing about any of this. Only when I come on Twitter do I start hearing of this stuff. And everybody on Twitter acts like this is what's going on, man. Like you're out of the loop, brother. Like, yeah, it's all this, that, all these contests, all these like services and shit. I didn't know any of this shit existed. I swear to God, man. So it was like I was just like in a whirlwind of like, what are all these companies? I never heard of any of them. I'd heard of CAA, WME, Paradigm, Gersh, Verve, all that shit. Anonymous, 360, all that shit. Circle of Confusion, all that shit. But not this stuff. You know. And you gotta remember, I'm out to dinner and shit with agents, you know, and shit all the fucking time. That's my life. Going to the bar mitzvah, their birthday party, they're this, their wedding, they're this, they're that, you know, going. Never mentioned any of these services. You know, so you could say, oh, you're out of the loop, brother. I broke up with my last manager right before I came onto Twitter. I wasn't that far out of the loop when I came on to Twitter. I was still in play. You know what I mean? And I never heard of any of these companies, ever. And so someone in Danny's, this is probably gonna go long, and I have a lot to say about this. Someone in Danny's thread posted a cry tear. I know what that means, right? Am I correct? That now there's one less place, like this whole thing is falling down, and now how am I gonna break in? How? And it's like, if that's your response, I don't know who said it, and I don't really mean like too much offense about this, but that general thought is, if that's your thought, like, how am I gonna break in now? You're being too fucking soft about the industry. There's plenty of ways to break in. You know, my position is these services didn't need to exist in the first place. All your icons and hero writers, all that, didn't break in this way. You know what I mean? And I said that in one of my other videos, that contests and shit like this are really only for writers. How the fuck does everybody else break in? They do it the old-fashioned way. And maybe this will help you put a fire on your ass and be like, you know what? I gotta fucking break in however I do. You know? But I noticed here, Danny said, that you have been paying for. I have a lot of notes on here. And that's highlighted. That you have been paying for. For what? That's not how the industry works. In the industry, you don't pay someone. They pay you. So, for me, these services are like pretend, play school. Let's pretend we're in the industry. Oh, la-di-da-di-da. Let's pretend we're in the industry and take ourselves like really seriously and shit like this. And give prizes. I have that highlighted. Prizes. You don't get a fucking prize in the industry. You don't get a prize. You get a fucking check. You know what I mean? Or you might get an award, you know, but not a... When I read that prize, like, and nothing against Danny in here. That's not my point. Prize, I think of like, what do you get? Like a stuffed animal? Like, is this like the fair or something? Like here's my point, and a point I've never made. Nothing is at stake in these contests or these services. Nothing's at stake, and you swipe your card, and they're like, okay, well, I know I'm getting paid. The services, I know I'm getting paid because they swiped their card. Read the back of read the back of your card, please. They know they're getting paid. Nothing's at stake, dude. That's wholly different than sitting there and trying to make a fucking deal for multi-million dollars. It's wholly different, dude. The pressure of that, the stress level of that, that's wholly different. This is real, man. It's someone's career at stake. This could be a make or break for them. And for us, you know? So, here's another thing, another point I've never made. Well, so let me say about this. I don't super care if these companies go under. I don't. Maybe that'll push these people, the people who work there. No offense, man. Maybe that'll push them to actually join the fucking industry. For real. I know the industry is absolute bullshit at this point, but maybe they can start something that actually makes money. See my point? That can go on and become a film and become a franchise and whatever the fuck else, and be a company that actually turns dollars because of they have product, is my point. Services don't focus on product. You know? Like, one thing I would say is this. Reading this made me think of this too. I don't really know what fellowships are. You know, I see everybody like, I'm gonna join fellowships, shit like this. I don't really know what they are. And I've been signed at 5 places. You know, how the fuck do I not know what a fellowship is? You know? Because I'm not gonna make this all about me, but there are some points in here. Because I got signed off a script, right? And then quickly after that, I have another script I wrote. And so both those are going out. And I'm doing meetings for both of them, different camps. And my agent's like, I'm at CA at this point. My agent's like, write a pilot. Original, created by, you know, that shit, go, do it. You know, so boom, I have a pilot. Now all those are going out. You know? I didn't have any time for, no one ever recommended a fellowship to me. Nobody. So I don't really know what they are. And I've had writers ask me, what fellowship do you think I should enter? And I'm like, I have no idea, because I bypassed all that. So they were just like, okay, you're signed, go, and don't stop. Okay, that script went out. Okay, boom, the next one. Okay, boom, the next one. You know, like, I don't have any time to even investigate what a fellowship is. And no one ever mentioned that to me. I'm living with an agent, and the agent doesn't recommend. Married to an agent for 20 fucking years, never recommends a fellowship to me. No one ever recommended, by the way, too, no one ever recommended that I write a spec script for an existing TV show. Nobody. There was never talk of that. There was never talk of, let's get you in the writer's room as a writer's assistant and you go up that way. No, it was just all created by. Go write the pilot, we'll try to get showrunners on this. And then boom. So my point there is, I was in a bubble. Like, I didn't know what, I didn't know what people at my level were even doing. I had no idea. I'm married to an agent. I'm signed. I don't know what writers at that level were doing. I knew what the A-list people were doing. I knew what the mid-levels were doing because that's who Sherry represented. I didn't know what people at my level were doing. I had no idea. And here's another point I've never made. So when when I first decided to write a screenplay, how I broke in really was I had a meeting with the with a composer agent. That's really how. He's really the one who inspired me to write in the first place. He didn't know that at the time, but that's what happened. And then I told Sherry that you know what? Thinking about all this shit, like, why don't I write a screenplay? I've been reading scripts for fucking years and helping you and giving you notes on your clients. Why don't I write a fucking screenplay? I just got fired off this fucking movie that sucked. They burned $6 million on this piece of shit. Why don't I write a screenplay? I know I can do something better than that. You know? But what happened in that fucking moment is I went from Sherry, my wife at the time, seeing me as a composer, musician, to, oh, wait a second. This is someone else I gotta gatekeep? I'm not gonna fucking just represent you for no fucking reason. That's what she said, stay in your fucking lane. Exact quote, stay in your fucking lane. Do not write a screenplay. That's exactly what she said to me. And I said, fuck that, I'm gonna write it anyway. Okay, so I'm getting gatekeeped in my own fucking house. You see what I'm saying? But did that make me give up? No. So the fact that these services, if they're crumbling and shit, what are you talking about? That's your only way to do this. You're gonna cry now? Like my own wife at the time, told me, do not write a screenplay. I'm not gonna fucking read it or help you. Was that a reason to give up? Okay, I won't write it then. No, fuck that. I wrote it anyway. And then later, once she took a look at it and thought, maybe this is good, maybe. Let me check with some of my colleagues to see what they think. But you can't use your real fucking name. Because that goes into nepotism. You can't use your real name because you're gonna get a bad read. Meaning, nepotism works like this. Nepotism works like if your father or mother or something was a screenwriter and shit like this, then they're more willing to be like, oh, okay, like, let me read this, hopefully it's good. If you're the husband of an agent, they read it like, okay, what's this bullshit gonna be? Come on, you're not a real writer. What's this? You know what I mean? So then later, she trusted me. Not at first, though. After several of my scripts landed with all her friends and shit. And I'm signed at the same fucking company she's working for by one of her colleagues. Two of them. Then later she trusted me. That maybe you kind of know how to write. But never suggested that I take that script and enter a contest with it. And a friend of mine, one page, And I'll try to hurry up, but I told you it's gonna be kind of long. My friend, one page, and I tried to get him a read, and I told her he won page, so, can you give him a read? You've known him for 15 fucking years. She was like, what's page? Like, what is that? And I know there's some writers that are like, bro, what? She didn't know what page was? No, no idea. She didn't know what the fuck that was. Why would she need to know what that is? Like, people have this misconception that agents are just waiting for these contests to call them. No. No, 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 no. Agents at that level are like, I don't accept unsolicited material. You can go ahead and take that person off my call sheet. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna talk to some award person for what? At that level, maybe the youngsters do, like I've said. But you know what? I would say this: if I started a management firm today on my own, I would not give a fuck what award you won. It wouldn't mean anything to me. So what? I won this or that. I have these laurels and shit. I'd be like, put that shit away. No one cares. I don't care if I'm signing new clients. You know what I mean? And what would I say? I would tell you, I don't even need a fucking log line. Don't send me a log line. Give me like a little 3-4 sentence synopsis. Because I know your log line's probably gonna suck and I won't know what the fuck it is anyway. So just tell me what the fuck it is in 3-4 sentences. Hypothetically, if I became a manager, and don't worry guys, I'm not gonna try to become a manager because there's no fucking money in it. But that's what I would say. I don't need your awards, dude, to sell you. I'm gonna sell you off word of mouth, what I say. And some people have said, oh, you'd have to start at the bottom. You're not gonna get huge clients like Sherry had. No shit. But I would come at it from the standpoint of, I would just do the same thing. Run it the same way. We did that, built that. I helped her a lot. Tastemaker shit. You know what I mean? Same shit. I don't need your fucking award. I will tell them, you gotta read this script. And I'll talk shit right here too. Some managers who think my videos are bullshit and stuff. Listen, I've already been developing with tastemakers and shit like this. My scripts. That's how I know what I'm talking about. I already been in the chair, wrote it, and developed it with tastemakers. That's why I'm saying I know what the fuck I know when I'm reading a good script. That's amazing. So yeah, I would say trust me from that. I don't need your award. I don't need that I wouldn't even mention that. For what reason? Because if they're gonna be impressed by that, they're not high enough. And probably can't get your shit made. You know what I mean? What else? I have free work on here. I don't know what the point was with that, but I would just recommend not doing it. I mean, there's times to do free work, but I don't think doing free work in the beginning is going to help you, because they're going to say that oh, I guess that's where I was going with this. Oh, that's where I was going with this is some people have said he hasn't made enough money as a writer to be able to talk about writing. Part of that reason was because I did free work. And part of the reason I did, or the only reason I did free work ever, is because Sherry said to me, just the pros know this. You've heard this. It will help your career. Just do it, and then, if and when it gets made, that's going to mean way more than this little piddly money they pay you. So just walk that off. Let's not cause problems, And I'm like, I should be getting paid for this. Sherry's the one who said, don't worry about it. If it gets made, then you're going to make way more money than us trying to fight about nonsense money right now. But looking back, I wouldn't do any fucking free work. Fuck that, because it never leads anywhere. At least for me, it never led anywhere. The only way I think to do free work is if you already got paid a bunch of money. And it's like, I'm thinking of a specific client of hers that got paid $100,000 a week to doctor, made $1 million in fucking, several weeks for fixing some shit that he's not credited on. And then they wanted can we get a little more work on it? And then she said, told them that they need a little more work on it. But she was like, just let's not worry about the money part for that. It'll be like a day or two of work. Can you do that? But the reality is, he's like, it's like a week though. It's gonna be like another week. That's another $100,000. She's like, it'll make the studio happy. You already got $1 million, In that case, maybe, it'll make the studio happy, you're not difficult, this kind of shit, maybe then. Going over to here, I'll speed this up. Prizes to me, I realize how it hits me. Immature. What is it? It's gonna be a stuffed animal of a bunny or something? What the fuck? A prize? Little gold star sticking on my nose? What are you talking about, prizes? It's just, do you see what I'm saying? The services run them, their language they use and all this, and the photos they use, I've made it, are so immature. It's like middle school vibes. Then you go to the actual industry is fucking hardcore. You know what I mean? So I guess on with this. Reminder, again, Sherry never signed anybody from contest. Never. Not in 30 years. No one. And I also feel like, I've never made this point, I feel like the contests are saying sort of, I got some other shit to read in here. Let me read that first, then I'll come back to this. So, and I'll show you, because Coverfly, which I've never heard of before joining Twitter. No agent ever mentioned them. Coverfly was born when the teams behind Screencraft, which I've never heard of, and We Screenplay, which I've never heard of, partnered in 2017 to solve some problems they saw with Hollywood's decentralized and messy screenwriting talent discovery process. Let me stop you right there. No, it's not. First of all, let's go to decentralized. Why should it be centralized? Why should it be centralized? Do we know what that word means? Centralized into one thing. What are you saying? Like one company should run everything? No. It needs to be decentralized so people have the choice to, I like that script, I don't like that script. We want to make this movie, but we're passing on that. And then that script goes over to this company and they're like, we want to make that. You see? Like, no, it's working perfectly fine as far as that. Our purpose is to provide centralization for the entertainment industry to discover diverse, talented new voices in screenwriting from all of the best regarded screenwriting competitions, fellowships, labs, festivals, and talent discovery programs. Centralize? Like, no. And let me say here too, labs, Sundance Lab, I've heard of it, but no agent ever, no manager, no one ever suggested I try out for that stuff. I kind of know what it is, but not really. Because they were just like, go, write that, then we'll take it out, shop it, write another one, we'll take that out. Like, I don't have time for like whatever Sundance thing or fellowships or whatever. That's why I don't know what that stuff is, not really. They were just pushing me to write, be a writing machine. You know what I mean? We connect emerging writers with the industry, guiding writers to improve their craft and career through partnerships with top competitions. Let me stop you again. Improve their craft. Why are you even trying to be in the industry if you need to improve your craft? And who are these people to improve your craft for you? Like, no, the manager, the agent, the producer, the director improves your craft. Once you're already pro level, once you already can write at a pro level. You know what I mean? Like, not people that don't really have anything to do with the industry. Why would you let them meddle with it, get their meddling hands in your screenplay? Because they're like, oh, we know, we have the list of what Netflix is asking for. Who gives a fuck what Netflix is asking for? If I was a manager today, I would say, we're gonna ignore that fucking list. Okay? Because they don't know what the fuck they want. They're asking for it, but they don't know. They know what they want. They don't know what they need. Okay? Anyway, we offer a variety of programs to showcase great talent. I can think of the best way I can think to showcase your talent is to go do a fucking movie. While being good stewards, you're gonna say that? While being good stewards of aspiring writers as they determine their next step. Being a good steward, like, do you see how amateur that is? Like, do you see how they're saying like we are good, trust us, while you figure out like what the fuck you're gonna do? You should already know what you want to do. You know what I mean? Why do you need other people to tell you what you want to do? And they don't even know what you should do anyway. And you should be ignoring these what do they call them? Because, no one ever told me that either. No one ever tried to like, here's the, what do you call it? The directive from Netflix or whatever. No one. They would have said, I don't give a fuck what the directive is. They don't know what they want. All of my good reps said the industry doesn't know what the fuck it wants. Or doesn't know what it needs, sorry. So, fuck all that. Okay? Let me give you an example. I'll give you two examples and then we're out of here. And that's my point there is the services, I think, will try to get you to target the industry. I think that's a fucking mistake. Netflix is looking for this, they're looking for that. Let's try to target. I think that's a fucking mistake. Let me give you two fucking great examples. One, Gone Girl. No one was asking for that. Let's have a movie where it fucking changes halfway through. No one was asking for that. And then what happens? Then it creates its own genre that didn't exist before that. You see, I'm talking about creating the target. I don't think these services know how to do that. What's another one? I'll use music. Nirvana. Nirvana. Alice in Chains, if you didn't know this, Alice in Chains was the one to tell the label, you need to sign these guys. Alice in Chains was signed first. And they said, you need to sign these guys. They're going to be fucking huge. And they went out, and they went to the studio. It doesn't matter. It's all entertainment, right? They went out, Nirvana went out, met with the studio, and the studio's like, I don't really get it. Like, I don't fucking care. You know? They stayed at the Sahara, you know? So they go do their meeting, and the studio's kind of like, we don't give a fuck. I mean, the record label. They're like, okay, I guess we'll go home. Year later, they're the biggest band in the fucking world. You know what I mean? Nobody fucking, you know. But in the beginning, nobody was going to ask for some dudes in sweaters and like, you know, Thrasher hair, because everything was all heavy metal on Sunset Boulevard at that moment. Everything was all glam, hair bands, makeup, all this kind of shit. I was there, dude. Okay? I remember exactly what it was like. And the first time I heard Nirvana, I'm like, all this is gonna die quickly, and it did. Why? Because one band broke out and showed them, because that's what they were asking for. We need more glam bands. We need more. The industry's asking for that. And Nirvana said, we're gonna just do whatever we fucking want to, you know? And someone was smart enough to be like, I should sign these guys. They're doing something completely different, and the kids seem to like it. You know? That's what the fuck you do. All right? So I'm out. Good luck out there, guys. I don't think it super matters that if these contests go away or these services go away. The only thing you need to learn how to write, the only thing you fucking need is to read scripts. That's how I learned how to write. I just read a bunch of scripts. Fucking terrible ones and fantastic ones. And I started figuring out like turn of a phrase, callbacks, this kind of shit. You know what I mean? Technical shit. And, you know, I got signed off of, I barely ever watched movies and I barely ever watched TV, and I still got signed because I read scripts. You know, you don't need to read books, none of that shit. You know, they try, like these services, they try to tell you, like, you need our classes, you need our this, that. No, you don't. You don't even need books. I didn't read a single screenwriting book before I wrote my first screenplay and got signed. Nothing. I later, after I was signed, then I read Save the Cat and The Hero's Journey and whatever else. You know what I mean? And I got Robert McKee's DVD collection. I know I'm going long, but it's about writing, so suck it up. Then I got that shit. And I didn't even finish Robert McKee's, I paid like $300 for the DVDs, and I didn't even finish it, because I'm like, nah, like, no, thank you. And Save the Cat for me was kind of like, I see that it could work for certain things, but not for my stuff. So, yeah, my biggest education was screenplays, reading other writers, you know. That's all you need. Just keep reading them until you feel confident on the page, because you are the one that's going to have to know when the script's ready, ultimately. Not the manager, not the agent, not the producer, not the studio, not the network, whatever. No one. You got to know when it's ready. That's a tip from Terry Rossio to my ears to out of my mouth. All right. Good luck, guys. I hope you kill it. Peace.